Okay, so question number 7. We've got a circle, and it says it's inscribed in a square, which means it's fit inside perfectly, so the edges touch. It's inscribed inside of a square. So circle inside of a square. And they're telling us the area of the square is 196 square miles. So the area of the square. So let's write that down. So the area of the square is 196. Well, what's the area of a square formula? Well, that's length times width, right? This is like width and this is like length. But for a square, those are both the same, aren't they? Right? The length and the width are exactly the same. So really you could call them both x. So it's x times x. Because they're both the same, you can call them by the same name. You could call them both length or call them both width or call them both Susan, whatever. You know, I'm just going to call them both x. So that means x squared is 196 because it's a square. The two sides are the same. Call them by the same letter. X times x is x squared. And then how do you solve there? For x, you square root both sides, don't you? And I'm getting 14. I think. Let me double check. I think that's 14. Yeah, 14. So we get 14. So what is the length of one side of the square? 14. So we found this is a 14 by 14 square. In other words, it must be 14 from there to there, and it must be 14 from there to there, huh? It's 14 by 14 square makes the area 196. Multiply one side by the other, 14 by 14, get 196. Okay, so the next part, they want us to find the radius of the circle. So the radius is from the middle to the edge, isn't it? So that's just going to be 7. It's just going to be half of it, isn't it? The radius must be 7. It's just halfway across the circle, which is halfway across the square. Final question, what's the area of the circle? So we'll just use the area of a circle formula. Area of a circle, pi r squared. You know pi is 3.14 times the r. We now know the r, the radius 7 squared. So it is 3.14 times 7 squared. Whoops. 7 squared. I'm getting 153.86. 153.86. That must be the area of the circle inside of the square. So that's interesting. We started with the area of the square, and we're able to eventually find the area of the circle, the space inside the circle that's inside the square, just by starting with the area of the square. That's kind of tricky that we can go from the area of the whole square and backtrack to find the area of the circle inside of it using our formulas.